And then you can you can Hi.
person who's watching this. Hamlet, are you there? Hi, Maria. Show up.
Hello. In a second, hang on.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Finally,
What are you doing?
what I'm doing?
Yeah.
In what sense?
You're looking down. Seems like you're writing something.
Yeah, I was starting my notes, because I always start a note on my phone to write down the new words for the day.
Nice.
And then I send a PDF at the end. Hi, Lucy.
And
Hello.
Yes, Maria?
what do you guys usually do here?
We talk.
Okay,
So
that's nice.
we pick a topic and we start talking about it freely. Or sometimes we bring a suggested topic. And today I actually had a topic to discuss with you guys, which is choosing a profession, right? Like today I posted on my personal profile about whether or not we should ask children what they want to be regarding profession when they grow up. And then I said that the question is right, what you want to be when you grow up. But the answer is wrong, right? They
Right.
ask what they want to do. which is just an instrument to get to a goal. It's not like we're going to be your whole life. Right, Lucy?
Hi.
I said right, Lucy.
Okay.
Did you choose to be like a developer when you were a child or something? How did you decide that?
No, I jumped a lot between dreams about the work or something like this. I jumped between architecture, engineering, civil engineering, law school, and I just jumped on computer science because I always liked computers and always uh, was trying to discover more and more about computers. And I was always the type of guy that was passionate about tech, not just on computers, but phones and video games, stuff like this. And I thought, well, if I like this, I can work with this. So I chose computer science in a way to discover more about the things I liked it before and perform this and gain money with this.
I see. But you like had this predisposition to work on technology, you feel like.
Yeah.
I see. How about you, Maria? How did you choose your profession?
Hello.
Hi, Rafaela.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
So-
How are you?
Doing great.
I'm good.
I'm actually committing a crime today because I'm having regular coffee, which is like from an actual bottle, you know, like this one. I'm in my mother's house, and at first when I started learning about coffee, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna have regular coffee again. But then I started missing it, like the old, terrible, bitter one with powdered milk, you know, like very traditional thing that I've had my whole life. You don't just forget your traditions. So when I'm here, I have this. You know, when I'm elsewhere, specialty coffee. Maria, you're saying something. You were saying.
Yeah, so about my career, I don't know. I think like 3 years ago, I've met this teacher, Paulo, and I was just so inspired by him because before that, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm actually taking a business management course right now, but I am an English teacher. And I was so inspired by this teacher that I wanted to do the same. And I realized that I can do that. You know, I'm good at it. I am doing it well. And I can see myself doing anything else right now. Yes, that's it. It was not like something I chose.
So why business administration?
Because
Business management is the same thing.
I think it is. I wanted to be a chef, and I actually got a few scholarships. Yeah.
Rafa is a chef.
Hey, Rafa.
Hello.
But
I used to be an English teacher for kids.
Really? Look at that. Have similar trajectories.
Yeah. So I wanted to be a chef. I got a few scholarships, but my parents didn't want me to do it, and I had no support. And by that time, it was the university was a little far from my house, and I needed support. And my father said, "Okay, you take this course for a while, the other one, the business management one." And he said, first, you learn about administration and that kind of stuff. And if you want to, you can be a chef later. And now I don't want to be a chef. I guess that's it.
Why did you give up on it?
I don't know. I just don't like it anymore.
You see. Yeah, but we usually define ourselves in terms of professions, right? I am this, I am that. And this is limiting in many ways. First, regarding identity, right? And because we are very protective with our identities. And once we attach a label to it, it's kind of hard to rip it off, even by ourselves. Also, because it doesn't distinguish you, doesn't differentiate you from the rest. So if you just say, I'm an English teacher, you open like a little drawer in the person's house, in the person's brain house. Yeah, a drawer is in the house. This is why I said house probably. And this drawer has all the information this person has previously learned about being a teacher, like what they wear, how they talk, how much they charge, what they do, what they believe in. And then when you don't use those words and describe yourself as something else, they have no parameters to compare. And then you can create your own reality and charge your own price. Hi, Gabi.
Hello, guys. Sorry I'm late.
Problem.
I listen here.
You're in a different place in your house today.
Oh, sorry?
You're in a different place in your house today.
Yes, I'm in my room, finally.
You were never in your room before?
No, I was in my brother's room because he has a table. I don't have a table, so I just have to sit in my bed with the
You're
notebook.
in your bed. Okay.
Yes.
Not very comfortable, but okay.
Yeah.
What about children, guys? Do you have any children in your lives? Yeah, Gabi, you do, right? Your brother is like a little kid.
Yes, he's 10.
10.
He just got very busted because he was supposed to be watching classes right now, and instead he was like searching for food in the kitchen for 1 hour. 1 hour searching for food, and he left class. So my parents are very, very angry at him right now.
So how do you search for food for 1 hour? I mean,
He was like looking in the drawer. He was trying to find something, and he was like, oh, I can find this, so I'm going to stay here until I find it. Something like this.
okay. Did he?
No. No.
1 wasted hour. And
Yes.
what does he say like about his profession? How does he see himself in the future?
He doesn't want to talk about it. Every time we ask, it's like if we were pushing him, and he doesn't like to be this way. But I believe he would like to do something involving games because that's basically everything that he does. So computer, tech, like this.
I see. We are meaning making machines. Like we have a tendency of finding meaning in everything, right? And I posted this thing about children choosing their values instead of professions today. And I had this follower tell me a story of her daughter. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So her daughter likes animals. And she really does. She really does. And then, like her grandmother is very quick to the trigger in attaching a label to her. So she likes animals, therefore she will be a veterinary, right? Automatically. Like if you like animals, you're supposed to work with them. We have this utilitarian view of actions, right? And then she's to learn to sew, to sew, like to fix cloth, basically, with her grandmother. And then, coincidentally, she was sewing like stuffed animals. And then her grandmother, again, said, oh, she's going to be a veterinary surgeon. Right? And like, it was clear she was sewing animals. That was clear she was going to be a surgeon. But then she learned that animals, real animals, get sewn. Like when she learned that you can actually open an animal and sew it back together, she like the kid wasn't shocked. She was shocked. It's like, what? They open animals, So she's probably not going to be one. But like it's an animal. she's solely an animal, therefore, like, we'll just jump to conclusions. And then the child is just doing something random, like poking a trio is going to be a poker player. Like, listen, like poking people is going to be a poker player. Yeah, so we jump to conclusions too quickly. And it's interesting that your brother refuses to attach a label to himself.
Yes, and I just did it. I just attached the label.
It's going to work in gaming. Yeah. Okay. So, how's the day?
Well, I think you saw my list of words, right? I discovered the most amazing expression I've never heard before. And
Yeah, your list of words, yeah.
it's now 99 words. I'm very proud. And the expression is...
But let's contextualize everyone. So I challenged all of them. I think only Gabby took on the challenge to collect 1,000 words. How far are you doing it to? Turn on your mic. It's off. Your mic is off, Hafa.
Sorry, guys. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's not 99, but it's good. It's 20 something. But I'm trying
20.
it.
20. Come on. Your goal is 1,000. It's a bit far.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, but I'm trying.
Okay. Try to get like 2 a day. It's a healthy metric. So, Gaby, what's the expression you want to show us?
Will be tied.
Wooby tied.
Yes, I've never heard about it, but I found it in the Harry Potter book, and it's nice. I'm going to use it everywhere. I'm going to...
How do you use it?
It's like when you warn someone that if you don't do something, something bad is going to happen. So we'll be tied if you don't do your homework, something like this.
It's woe or woo?
I think it's full, but I'm not sure.
Woo be tied? Be tied. Interesting. I know tide, like tide is the movement of the sea, like when...
Yes.
Okay. But maybe it has to do with that, right? Like the ebb and the flow, like everything that goes comes back. So if you're doing something bad now, something bad is going to happen, or not doing something good, something bad is going to happen. Maybe it has to do with that. Interesting.
Should be British.
Probably, yeah, it is. Because it's from a Harry Potter book. Or it might be a made-up word as well. Be tied. Oh, to be tied is to happen. Look. Be tied up. Yeah. To be tied, to happen. I wake up with a beating heart, as yet not knowing what will be tied. Wow, it's very formal.
Tied.
Happen, occur, take place, come about, inspire, arise, chance, befall, for nice. Like an illness is going to befall you. Sounds very ominous. Come to pass, go down, supervene, develop, follow, ensue, result, the chance, hap, arrive, and eventuate. Hap. Interesting, because happening and happen comes from hap. What does hap mean?
Respect.
Oh, look at that. Hap, luck, or fortune. Oh, if you're happy, you're full of luck and fortune, right? So do happy and happen have the same root? So as a noun, it's luck and fortune. As a verb, is to come about by chance. What can happen to him? Worthy to be deemed evil can happen to him. And hap. Some Brazilians tend to say hap sometimes, overcorrecting instead of happy. It's like coffee. Like people say cough instead of coffee.
Yeah.
Cough club when people are coughing all the time. So guys, share with us a thought, something new you have learned this week that you want to share with us. Let's have a nice discussion. It can be on the same topic of professionals and children, or it can be something else. Maria, did you change your clothes? Did you switch your clothes or just tied up your hair?
I just changed my hair.
Okay. Come on, what did you learn this week?
I just learned about machine learning. Just the only thing that I'm studying right now. Something from work. It's boring.
Can you dumb it down to us?
What is machine learning? Machine learning, it's
basically what you're learning.
Oh, okay. Machine learning, it's a practice that you can teach a computer to do something. Like when you see that kind of camera, security cameras that can recognize people by their faces, it's just machine learning that is a human that teach a programmer or a program to understand some patterns, to understand that this pattern is a person or a car. That's how electric cars can drive themselves. Or
only electric cars can drive themselves?
You have electric cars that can drive itself. Like,
I mean, only them?
Yeah. Because
no other kind of car? With no
it's just because it is like how can I say this? It's just this movement about electric cars be the nicest things ever. So they built not just an electric car, but a smart car that you can have a computer that can think and can help the driver to do some things like prevent accidents or something like this.
I see.
It can do easy things like just turn up the lights when it's dark, or it can prevent like the car can see that have this bus or this truck that you have to be careful with distance. The car can slow down a bit just for get the safe distance for quick maneuver or something like this.
There was like a discussion some years ago. I don't know if it was solved already. Like it was a moral discussion, right? Like when the car has to choose between two lives, which one is going to choose? Has this been resolved?
Yeah.
How?
They had made the experiences with toy cars and some tracks that people drawn on the floor on a giant patio or something like this. And they are making this hive connection that make cars connect themselves like bees. So they have this way to communicate each car with each other, and then they can discuss between themselves about how they can act on some situation. And they tested like in a how can I say this, in a all 100% automatic way, like 100% of the cars automatic, and then they made some barriers, like they made an accident or something like this, and they started to choose tracks to avoid the accident, and it was way too fast than real traffic with humans. And then the last one, it was with some people driving. So they got joysticks for some testers, and they were driving, and the cars automatically they knew that it was a human between them, so they are making distance to, because humans can be more aggressive on on daily driving, so they are making distance and open space for the driver to do whatever he wants, whatever he wants.
I have a question on that subject. You were telling me about cars conversation. They are communicating among themselves. But for that to happen, you would need like that all the cars were electrical cars, or you could just get an electrical car to talk with a normal car, a regular car.
By now, people are just doing this with electric cars because the companies of electric cars wanted to improve themselves to do something wonderful and make the world a better place without carbon monoxide, something like that. And they had this project to get all the cars electric someday. So the first people that are doing this are the people from electric cars, because they have initiative from government and from universities to studying this field, to the expertise. And they are the most the principal ones that are making this. Like we have like Tesla doing this. I think Mercedes too, because Mercedes are converting them to electric cars too, and some European branding, but European companies, but it's not all of them. Like we have companies like Ford, America, that they are not doing this, not even right now, but they invest on another technologies to make smart cars, like cars that can drive themselves on a parking lot, or cars that can park automatically. Yes, it has this a lot of sensors that can develop can park itself. And we have technology like this for trucks too, like the truck can knows if the truck it's tired enough to be doing something, and it can the truck can uh, deliver directions to a hotel or something like this, and he can create distance, like I said before, create distance with another car or something like this, and provide a more comfortable way to the trucker travels in long distance.
Maybe wake them up if they're falling asleep.
Yeah, they do something like this. Like they had these vibration systems on seats, and what else?
This is awful. It's gonna massage them. We're gonna relax.
No, it's just like it's calm enough, and then he vibrates. He has alert sounds. I don't know how actually works, because these trucks are electrical too, and they are just in Europe. They are trying to make this kind of trucks to here to Brazil, but I don't think it was a great idea, because we don't have roads for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a project to bring this to Brazil too.
The truck is gonna refuse to drive in such roads.
Yeah. And sometimes cars that are delivered to Brazil are adapted to our way of traffic, like Japanese cars, like the Hyundai. They are adapted to the Brazilian traffic because they are more lower. They have different like the springs. I forgot the name of it right now. There's the springs that
Suspension?
supports. What, sorry?
Suspension.
Yeah, they had a specific type of suspension to vehicles here, and some maybe they could do too, but it's just that we have to make the public for it. No, not everyone has electric cars nowadays in Brazil, and because that's a struggle.
Yeah. It's funny when they use like a diesel generator. Is it generator? Right? Generator, right? Like those.
Yeah, energy generator.
Yeah. But it's a diesel fueled generator to power an electric car. Like it defeats the purpose, right? You have an electric car, but you power the generator with diesel. So it doesn't, it is at the end, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were studying machine learning about that? No, right? Or was it just random?
No, the field that I'm using to work, I have already said that to you. It was in the field of know about what a user is talking about and translate it right in a way in a conversation, like transform someone to be interpreter.
Nice. Well, why is it a new thing? Is it a new thing?
Quite not a new thing. We have this on Google. The Google Assistant have this. You can ask it to be your interpreter, and it can, but it's not actually, it's not perfect. Then we have to, we are make this product to another AI. So yeah, it will be public, and we are trying to correct the errors that Google made, you know.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they might be useful to us, right? To the field of English teaching and improvement. I see that many people are afraid of that, right? Of technology advancements, but you just have to kill yourself before it kills you. And I know, for example, that very soon we're not going to be able to, actually not going to need to learn languages. You just speak them, or maybe speak a general language and everyone's going to understand. So it's a matter of like, it's inevitable.
We have this idea on like Star Wars. It has this idea. You have people that speak English, like everyone in space speak English. But we had a reason for this, and it has this kind of species that cannot interpret like us. Like they don't have this ability to use the tongue and the mouth to do the same way like the humans, and they have this translating helmet that is incorporated with the lobe, with your brain, and it can translate it everything. But I think it's so much of science fiction, and is not be able to be like this. Like I will be dead when when this will be a thing. But I believe on things like this because every human wants to be better on something, like and this will be actually useful when they started to create prototypes to replace something on your body, you know. And I think it's way possible to do this. It's not right now, like I have to give up on speaking English or something like this, but it's a way future than from now.
Yeah, it's very distant future. But maybe not. Sometimes like what has changed in 50 years in technology and in 10 years even. And also there's I think it's Moore's law that every 18 months, the capacity of technology doubles. So it's exponential, right? It might not take so long for us not to have to learn languages. We might have a chip that translates it automatically. It might take a little bit longer, though, for us not to need to speak, which is the next step. Like nowadays, we already communicate through wireless waves, and I don't mean Wi-Fi. I mean speaking. Like when you speak, you vibrate waves, like you vibrate air, and you emit mechanical waves. They are converted in a converter in your head, and then you interpret that code, right? You decipher and you interpret. So we can replicate the same process with electromagnetic waves, and you can communicate without speaking, just through like microwaves or something, gonna fry your brain. Yeah, and Elon Musk is already working on that, right? I think it's called Neuralink.
Oh, Neuralink, yeah, but Neuralink is just a name that he created for a cluster of satellites to create this wireless internet to get on every part of the planet. So it's just a giant Wi-Fi. It's just a mesh of satellites creating this huge, massive planetary Wi-Fi.
So it has nothing to do with brain implants?
No, not anything like this.
Yeah, but he is working on something.
Oh, Starlink. Yeah, no, it's Starlink.
Oh yeah,
Starlink.
I'm saying Neuralink. Yes.
Yeah.
Who went to John Rogan's podcast, and he mentioned it himself. So I think it's the case. So yeah, what's going to be of English teachers and speakers when speaking is no longer a thing? And this is why I mentioned values as the most prominent thing to learn. Because, for example, I promise confidence, and you need this confidence. Either you speak or you don't. If you have to learn the language or not, it will be like an undying demand, and problem of humanity.
Yeah, I really don't know about this because it's really complicated to get specific on things. Because like in my team, we have linguists to interpret how we can teach the programs on understanding how people talk, on converting a language like English to Portuguese. This is way difficult because we have specific letters for some idioms. We have like specific signs for each language, and this is way difficult because okay, we can get the rules and teach a computer something, but what are the rules that we have to teach them? And this is for every area of expertise, because we can create something to do something, but we have to know about how we can make this to automate and tell a computer to do it. Even what we do right now, we can do with computers, like we are having right now with this video call. It's just because we have all this knowledge about how we can talk with each other. The first time it was lagging, and it was with a poor quality of image, with a poor quality of sound. And nowadays you can use your smartphone with your mobile data to connect with people, and you don't have delay of anything. You are like real time understanding what I'm saying right now. And it
Did you say again? Kidding.
and it was creative, and it was like this kind of thing. It was organic, and language is organic because you are doing something that in 10 years people are not like saying like that, and we can reforms on language, like we had like 3 reforms on Portuguese language, I guess. And people evolve with technology too. The society evolved, like they evolve together, but are things that evolve beside technology too. And that's the challenge and the struggle in all of this.
See, yeah, I remember the first day in language school, like university. I didn't finish the course, but I was introduced to several examples of what these professionals could work on, like linguists, and because we were trained to become linguists actually at university, and we can work in game development, in technology development, in
I have someone in my team that worked on the location from Fallout 4.
localization. Right?
The localization from Fallout 4.
Nice. So
Fallout
localization.
4 it's a game, guys.
Oh yeah. We have to contextualize localization and Fallout 4, just so don't get lost. But have you heard of localization?
I know about it.
Nope.
You guys know about it?
Can you explain to us? Wilson?
Okay, how can I say it? You have this program. Let's see. We have this game, and this game it was made by an English company, and they made everything on the game in English, like the menus, the talks, the subtitles, everything on it. And this company wants to deliver this. They want to deliver this game to another countries to pass it out their work, and they get a group of linguists to do localization. That is just a way to translate and make all the ambience of this game or program or book or something like that to be comfortable enough to people on this region to use it like it was something normal on its day.
I see. So it's like converting a culture into another, right? It's almost like translation, but it takes fewer more steps.
It's literally translation, but they call it location because it's not just best for a language, but it's for a culture.
Yes.
Like we don't have the same Portuguese from Portugal. So if you want to translate to the two countries, you have to get two type of localization.
To localize, yeah. And it's funny. For example, the word, it doesn't have to do with that probably, but many of the games that we played as a child were in English. And it took me a while to learn the meaning of quit. But in Portuguese, like lusifying it, we would say kitsch, right? When we read the word in English. And it did not have the meaning of give up to us. It just had the meaning of leaving. So it's I wonder if it had any cultural effect on gaming in these two cultures. You know, if you know that word means give up, you feel like, well, I'm not going to give up. You know, I mean, I can go on. But if it doesn't mean give up, it just means leave. You're like, oh, okay, I'll come back later. I'm not giving up. Keep on working on that.
I have played some games that they use it forfeit to exit the game.
Forfeit.
Yeah, that made me not to do it.
Okay, Mama's here. She gave me some oranges. What are you giving me oranges for? Mums are weird. So Maria watched me with my mother one of these days on a live. It was interesting that you took a screenshot of both of us together, but you only tagged her, like alive with the incredible Gustavo's mother. You know, forget about Gustavo.
It was your video. You were automatically tagged. It was on your page.
Okay. So, Rafa, tell us what's new. Are you closer to opening a restaurant? Guys, make
I told you, yeah, I had a fight with the co-owner, so I had to split, and now I'm on my own.
but you weren't you opening your own restaurant?
My own restaurant. No, I'm trying to work on a new project by myself, but it will be a restaurant, but not right now.
The project that you told me about was with someone else.
Yes, with my stepmother.
Oh, I see. So maybe not very wise to work with a family.
Yes.
I did work with my mother once. We had this company together. It was hell.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
Our relationship, Maria, like I'm talking to her because she knows her, like digitally, was improved substantially when I moved out, and I knew that was going to happen, because we used to clash a lot, like opinions and habits.
I think the problem is that mother in general, they will always look at you as a child.
It's almost impossible to split the two things, right?
Yes.
What if you were her boss? Wow, this is offensive.
Weird. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Offensive for a while.
Or teacher or something.
I was actually her boss for a while, and then she wasn't very
so fancy about it.
happy with it.
Yeah.
No, but I did a terrible job. I wasn't a good boss. And
it's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I learned a lot. But what were you planning to do?
Delivery.
Any specific thing?
Actually, maybe risottos, pasta, quite simple things, but with my touch, with half a touch.
I see. What's a touch?
I think it's just to change some ingredients. For instance, here we don't have celery so easily. It's quite expensive, so I'll be changing it for, I don't know, parsley, because it's easier to find it. So I'll be changing some ingredients to promote somehow the culinary culture around here.
I see.
Wait, we don't have celery?
Celery? No.
I didn't know that.
No.
I tried parsley. Yeah, I tried parsley. And now, like, is it the same thing? We're always eating this.
I couldn't
So
hear you.
Parsley and celery was the same thing.
Kind of froze, Maria.
Oh, okay.
Can you try again? No, she left. I will live. So you used to you wanted to use celery? Is that what it's called?
It was an example, but I want to change some recipes that are from Europe, like, I don't know, codfish, and then to use more pirarucu instead, because we have here a lot. I don't know whereabouts Maria Julia or Lucy are from or where they are, but we have to change the ingredients to make it more from the north,
I see. You can then launch the piraro codfish, right?
Yes. Also, I'll be cooking the morida, which I told you about, which is a sort of a soup based on manioc. And in my version, I'll be using mushrooms I told you about. Don't you remember? Yeah, so I'll be cooking Mediterranean food, but with the Amazon touch, not half a touch, but the Amazon touch, People need to know to appreciate the food from here. You don't need to be Alexa Tala to grab like an ant from the Amazon, the rainforest, and then you go to the Southeast and then, oh my God, it's so good. To make it happen, you know.
I see. Maria, what are you saying? Keep your mic on. Why are you turning it off?
I don't want to bother. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I was saying that I didn't know the difference between celery and parsley. I thought we had celery here
But where do you live?
in Espírito Santo.
It lives across the country, right?
Yeah.
It is right over Rio. Where do you live, Papa?
Roraima.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you don't have celery in Roraima. I thought you meant in Brazil.
No, we do have celery in Brazil, but not in Roraima.
Oh, okay.
So she wants to use regional ingredients. Keep your mic on, Maria. Who is in your room with you?
My mom's here and she's gonna talk to me at some point. Oh, so sad.
Join your call, Maria's mother. Okay.
She actually asked, "What are you talking about me?" And I didn't know she could understand me. That's weird.
My mom speaks English with a German accent. All right. All right, my daughter.
Really? She's just
My mom understands.
She doesn't
but she cannot speak.
Yeah, but she tries. When she tries, she gets the German accent. It's funny though.
Sounds a bit Russian too, but right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Gabi, what about you? What did you learn this week?
Well, my life is a little bit slow lately, but I've read Macbeth today from Shakespeare, and it was really crazy. I had nothing. That's how I feel now. It was a little bit crazy. I'm reading Shakespeare, and Othello was my favorite. It was the first one that I read, and it was like mind-changing. It was incredible. And then I read Romeo and Juliet, and I was very disappointed because I was expecting something bigger. And when I read it, it was like, that's it. That's it. Everyone talked about this for ages, for centuries, and that's only it. So I was very disappointed. And I read Hamlet. Hamlet changed my life. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful book. And I just read Macbeth like today, so I'm kind of shocked yet. I'm going to search.
You started and finished today?
Yes.
Wow.
It's not a big book. It's small. But I'm used to hear people saying that I read too fast. And
yes.
But sometimes it's sad also because I read too fast and I also forget things too fast. So
hi, Maria's mother. Look, she's
hi.
What's her name?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So you can read a book in one day. Wow, this is crazy. I usually read like a 20-page book in 4 months or something. I hardly ever touch the book. I actually listen to things rather than read, so it's kind of a bit harder to start, and I get distracted very easily and everything. But I'm halfway through one, and I have been reading it for like 2 months.
Okay.
I can read faster. You know, I tried it. I want to become like a dynamic reader, and I've timed myself reading a book. And it wasn't like the most dense of books and the hardest to understand, but I could roughly read a page in 1 minute and 7 seconds, which is not like absolutely amazing. But I finished the book in like 2 hours, not straight. Like I read in 4 chunks of 30 minutes,
Mm.
but you realize that we can read much faster when we dedicate, right? And it's been a long.
Would you understand everything? Like, would anything get lost?
I hardly ever read any fiction books. So non-fiction books are easier to. Okay, non-fiction books is still too broad. Non-fiction self-development books are easier to absorb, than fiction books. So you can understand.
I feel like the opposite.
Wow.
I read faster if it's like a book about fiction, a book about stories that are not real. I mean,
How do you develop that? How does it happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've always liked to read since I was a kid. And I used to read a lot. It made me worse at school because I didn't study it. I just wanted to read. And it made me have no childhood because I didn't watch TV. I didn't play computer games. I just wanted to read. And I normal friends.
Yeah, that's one I read. Oh my God.
Yes.
Do you read fan fiction?
Sorry?
Or do you read fan fiction or books? Just books?
Books. I didn't really get used to fan fiction, even though when I was a teenager, I used to write fan
Me too.
Right. You wrote it, but you didn't read it. You just wrote it. No, not gonna read this shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't read it, but I would write. I don't know why.
Yes, I have a blog, and it's still on. I was 13 when I wrote it. It's still on. I'm going to show you guys.
Okay, please do.
Okay. Good
My
contact.
blog.
And share your screen with us. Share your screen with us if you want to. Yeah, but
The
something
closest thing
changed.
to a blog that I had was a Tumblr.
You had a Tumblr? Yeah, me too. I had a blog called Abstractosphere. Yeah. I wrote about random
Wow.
things. And what fan fiction did you write? Like, what did you write about? Maria.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna talk about that.
Why not? It's
If you
fiction.
tell yours, I will tell mine.
You go first, Gabby.
Well, I have my fan fiction about Percy Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I was about to mention this series because it was the only series that I was actually engaged in reading, and I spent
Me
afternoon.
too.
You too?
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of I can't read fiction anymore. What happened to me? Something.
I don't know. Actually, I'm on the 3rd book of Percy Jackson because I don't know why I'm reading it. Like it's over. I think there's over 10 books, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Why?
Yes, I think the author is now, repeating himself because it's the same story, the same characters, and I just can't handle anymore. It's like, now it's 15 books, actually. 15 books, same story. And I'm reading the latest ones because my cousin, he's 7 years old, he asked me to read, and I'm reading for him. I feel like, oh no, I can't handle this anymore because it's just the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
But he wrote like different series, right? Like Egyptian,
Yes.
and Norse mythology. But there are 15 books in the same universe?
Yes, on Percy Jackson. There are 5 from Percy Jackson, 5 from Heroes of Olympics, and now another 5 books about the probations of Apollo, the god. More 5 books on the same story, the same characters.
Yeah. Money really,
That's too much.
money really dictates the game, right? So I even posted that thing about rejection and creativity. They found a formula and just repeating it. They're just repeating it. So that's your blog. Let's open it.
Yes, I was 13 years old.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 21 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Não, grava a conversa.
reading is there. What are you gonna read today? Nice. New books. Hi guys, look at my new books. Have you read it? When we woke up in the middle of a moving.
Wait, that's a fan fiction.
Yeah, my fanfiction is up there.
Oh, okay.
This is the
Oh,
fanfiction
Maze Runner.
Oh, the fanfiction is above.
about Maze Runner, right?
There's
Wait.
an item. On the-
Effectively.
No, more. Well, I don't see it. Oh no. It's somewhere in here. I've posted it.
So these are just like reviews, right?
Yes, but there's the page for things that I wrote.
It's
Nice.
amazing.
I wanted to be a writer.
Change your mind?
Not yet, but it's not the same.
Never too late.
Oh, here it
What
is.
do you do now?
Fix.
Right now, nothing, nothing. Actually, I'm in law and also I teach English, but not as a real teacher, as a tutor for high
What
school.
is a real teacher?
Tough question.
Yeah, yeah, not like in college, but as a tutor for high school.
Okay, I'm not a real teacher then.
No, yeah.
I gotta stop calling myself a teacher.
No, that was terrible.
So I'm gonna share
Are
in
you
the
a teacher, Gustavo?
I'm not. Not a real one. Never saw me in flesh, so I don't exist.
Well, I have lots of prejudices with books. Like, for example, with new technologies, people are hearing books, and also with the thing, I forgot the name. It's like
Kindle?
for reading ebook, like ebooks. And
Yeah, I have one.
for me,
Kindle.
that's like, no, that's just, I have to overcome this prejudice because I have a friend who was listening to a book, and I was like, that's not reading. That's not, you're not reading the book. And this,
But audiobooks can be
Okay.
useful. If you have a lot of things to study, audiobooks can be really useful.
yes.
Achila always talks about it. He's always listening to audiobooks. I want to give it a try once. I want to see if I adapt to it.
I love like, when I go to the gym, for instance, I download some videos and I listen to the videos like lectures or TED Talks or guides. And then I...
Wow.
What? It's very productive.
At the gym?
Yes.
Wow.
Very productive.
Yeah,
Like
I use it to do this too.
it's great because when you come back home, you can, okay, and I like that video, like the thing that they mentioned. Let me watch this video again, but now I'll take notes and learn, for real. So it's a good way to have a first glance at a topic and then go deeper into it. And I might try with books. Actually, I did do that. And it's quite effective because I do feel like I've read a book when I finished. And Gabi, before books were audio books. The original books are in audio format. People only spoke before we could put them to paper, right? And actually, many books were converted from lectures, right? Like
The Bible.
the Bible. Yeah, was it?
Yeah, the Bible. The
From
stories. No, I mean, like, the stories were passing away till that was for the book.
Oh yeah, yes. But I thought it was like some kind of spiritual insight or something. But many of the stories were already
Part of
spoken.
it.
Missing. Also, there's a linguist. Did you study languages in university, Maria? Oh, you studied management, right? There's a guy called, I think it's Chomsky. Chomsky is still alive. I just asked if you study languages at university.
No.
Like language arts, like letters. I didn't, right?
No.
Yeah, there's a linguist that his students transcribed his lectures into books. Actually, Socrates himself didn't believe in writing, right? He was like, "Oh, knowledge is supposed to be spoken," and then Plato was like, "Oh no, hell no, I'm not gonna remember all that." So he wrote down.
There's even a theory that Socrates never existed, and it was all Plato.
Wow. So this can be true.
Yes.
I can prove he existed. I want to learn from you guys. How do you get remembered for so long?
What? I didn't understand.
What do you do? What does one have to do to be remembered across millennia?
Oh,
1 million questions. I don't know.
Like, why do you remember Socrates? It's crazy, right? I think being a pioneer is a good example of that, right? Like being the first one / the best one to do something.
Maybe they were lucky too. I mean, they're so ancient, and that's what we have. Like, I mean, it could be so much more back then, but we've only found this, so we make them very important.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be harder or easier to remember from now on? Like we have more ways to register information, but also much, much more information to register. And it's getting harder and harder to do things for the first time.
That's a problem that people from the future are going to have to deal with. It's not.
But we are those people who might remember 100 years from now, so we should care about that.
that reminds me of someone that I heard today saying about how can we be immortal. And the main idea to be immortal is between people. Your name, your name go through people with the information and what you produced on your lifetime and can be shared with other people, like Socrates. Like I said, like I have to do something right now to share something and be an influencer in a way to people share the knowledge with my name and spread the word towards everyone, and that's the kind of way that I can be immortal in a way.
Yes, the only way, right? Even if you write it down, even there's a book of you that you authored, even if you are online and you have a blog that you wrote when you were 13, people are only going to remember you if people remember you, indeed. And there's a few things that really play a huge role in that, which is first, words. Like we can only conceptualize things once they are named. And first, Socrates is a very unique name, right? Maybe not for his time, maybe it was his José, but for us, it is quite remarkable.
Yeah, if you're not a philosopher, is a football player. So.
Yeah, there's only 2 people in the history of humanity with this name. It happens every 1,000 millennia. And also message, right? Like words and message. What else? Like we remember Socrates for one thing, right? Or what is it? Oh, we don't, right? Okay. Yeah. We don't remember him for anything.
This is for his myths, for his really big myths. The book, The Republic. Read it. That's what I remember Socrates for.
I remember him mostly for questioning.
Yeah.
Right? for asking questions. So maybe that's the one thing, like questions. Maybe that's the very kernel of his existence that lives on across generations. So much so that the Socratian method is about questioning repeatedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
and also, oh, sorry, we were saying?
Sure.
It's all. I don't want to be a feminist, but it depends on. It depends on your gender sometimes. But it's harder for women. We have in the history of the humanity a lot of great women, great ones, scientists, philosophers, but we tend to know more about the guys, the men. So actually, to be reminded, it depends on the culture you are in, you know. We have, for instance, Martin Luther King, Nina Simone, which is a singer, and we have Etta James, that we are now talking about. We are talking about these days. But when it comes about, I don't know, gastronomy, we have a lot of girls, like amazing chefs, but as soon as a man gets the chef jacket, he's like, oh my God, he's the best. And he will be reminded, like Escoffier, which created how a professional kitchen would work and has to work. But we have a lot of, it was a girly thing to cook. But then a guy went there and like
I find it like a bit funny, you know, like even like in a very chauvinistic way, like it's the women's place, right? Like a lot of the, but then even it meant took even that, right?
That's what the woman, I think it's a film about the woman who discovered the radium.
Yeah, Marie Curie, right?
Yeah, and it was really tough for her. They couldn't believe her. Oh my God, you go back to where you belong. You're a girl, you're a woman. So it depends on the time you're positioned.
Yes. So hopefully, and actually, inevitably, I believe in entropy. So I believe in equilibrium, and we're going to reach that level of total equality at some point. We just have to speed it up. So it is more likely today for women to be remembered, right?
Amen.
Like J.K. Rowling, like who else from all generations?
J.K. Rowling, it's canceled right now. They cannot use her as a sample.
It's transphobic.
She's transphobic.
She's just
Yeah.
She's just
No.
What did she do?
She posted Twitter, as I remember.
What?
She posted what?
Sorry, Maria.
What'd she do?
No, I remember that she was transphobic once on Twitter, actually more than once. And she also makes the characters gay. The Harry Potter character is gay, but she doesn't work around it. She just says, okay, that character was gay. I didn't talk about it at all. There was no indication that the character was gay, but now that it's nice to be gay, that character was gay. So yeah she's
nice to be gay.
Yeah, it's cool. Everyone wants to be gay.
Okay, it's a thing.
And that was a question.
I woke up today feeling gay. Oh my God, so fancy.
Yeah, that was the question that started with Dumbledore, that people actually thought that Dumbledore was gay, and she said yes, and that's it. She doesn't explain about it.
I think she made him gay. Like she worked on his on the character. I think she worked on that on the last movies. I'm not sure. Not a fan, but I think she
Yeah,
did.
yeah. And the last movie, in the last movies, that there was the Fantastic Animals sort of trilogy, because it will be another movie. Um,
Hey,
in this movie, that she created all the universe for the movie, so it doesn't have books. No, it has a book, but it came after the movie. She just released it based on the script of the movie, and 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 published it. And she made all this ambience about this bromance with Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and make actually seems gay.
But there is like some kind of romance with a woman, right? Like he gets into a ship
No,
and they.
no,
There isn't. I mean,
no.
Dumbledore.
That's
Yeah,
Newt's
there's
commander.
some
That's
hint.
Newt's commander. You are
I'm confusing, mixed them up.
yeah. You're confusing Newt's commander, that is the protagonist, with Dumbledore.
Maybe, yeah. What the name of the film is?
Is
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
it's
what's the film I'm thinking of?
the same.
Yeah, this one.
Sorry.
It is the same movie. It's just the younger Dumbledore, but it is Dumbledore.
What am I confusing then? Isn't there
Because
like
the person that has this romance with another woman is Newt's commander, is another character.
who is played by that red
The guy,
ginger guy?
yeah, the guy that were Stephen Hawking too.
Who,
And yeah, he made the movie from Stephen Hawking.
oh yeah, yes, this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
He didn't play Dumbledore then. Okay.
Yeah, Dumbledore is played by Jude Law. That is the actor behind Watson from the latest Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
Jude Law. Oh, nice. Looks like him.
Yeah.
Dumbledore. So she does to being gay. But you know what? Like, why is she supposed to justify it? Can't she just say he was gay? I mean, something I realized recently is that most like labels that are considered to be minorities just want to be ignored, right? Like, I mean, I want to be able to put on a dress and walk on the streets and not be applauded, but just be ignored. Like, I'm just being me. No one should give me any opinion. Like, you're looking beautiful. No, I didn't ask, just ignore my existence, right? Ignore this label or this characterization. So if he was gay since the beginning, why should she mention this?
I get that.
Other thing.
I get that. It's a good point. But how old is Harry Potter? And that's actually a question because I don't know, but I know it's really old. And she had all this time to talk about that.
Yeah.
But she decided to talk about it like a year ago. Why?
Yeah, because people asked.
Not because of this
Why?
only, but they had this this conflict, I guess, with the universe of Harry Potter, and she tries to tie all the things up, every question of every fan, and this make herself be canceled because she's trying to make everyone happy with it, but everyone started to be mad because she's not trying to make sense. It's just trying to be pleaseful with everyone. It's just a complex thing about people who was fanatic with something and wants every question for anything, and just someone that cannot handle everything.
Yeah, I saw that. Like leave Harry Potter alone. Like stop answering questions. She keeps on revisiting things that didn't have to be settled. They just are, right? You don't have to explain everything. It's a fictional world, you know. Why should you explain it? You know, it's just like trying to find the chemical like formula for a spell. Like it's a spell.
Lord of the Rings is not like this.
Well, how so?
Lord of the Rings was made like 100 years before, like post World War War, and it was a linguist that he said, I want to make a mythology for European culture. So what we know about elves and gnomes and dwarfs and hobbits and some types of demons too are all based on Lord of the Rings. And not only the work, not only Lord of the Rings he made, but he made how people can make the localization for everything and what every character are being expressed on that moment. He had manuals for this types of things, but he's just a nerd that wants to be very specific with everything. And J.K. Rowling not. She made all this word like it's very complex, but it's a very tied up world. But people start to ask him some dumb questions about sexuality of a character, like what doesn't even matter for the story.
Gabi, you're saying 97. It's from 97.
Thank you, Gabi.
The first book
Oh,
was released in 97. It's not that far away from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings was post World War One.
My brother is an avid fiction reader. I don't know. I still have to go so much deep into development of personality. But like I and my sister, we speak a lot all the time about everything. And we read way less than him. He reads like 10 times what we do. But he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak about them, you know. It's technically, I mean, logically, if you read more, you would have more to say, but it doesn't happen like that, right? And
Maybe he's just shy.
yeah, he is. He's a bit shy. And my father is usually reminding him of that, like, well, you read so much and and you don't understand the situation and everything. But nowadays, I tried reading fiction, but actually did read a small parallel story from a series of books from my brother owns. I didn't get a thing. Like there were too many characters. Like I didn't know what was going on. I don't know how I don't know. Remember now. It was about a witch and a crow and stuff. You know, I can remember.
Okay.
But then when I read a non-fiction book, like a self-development book, for instance, it's more pleasurable, interesting, and I can apply stuff to real life. Maybe I'm living kind of a utilitarian way of learning. I don't learn things just to learn them, you know, just for pleasure. You know? And because using them is also pleasure, so you know, kind of things get mixed up. So what have you guys been reading?
I am reading V for Vendetta.
Mm.
And it's a comic book. Oh, no, it's a graphic novel. That's
The graphic novel. There's no book of it, right?
What?
There's no book. There's no actual book.
No. I think it may have a book, but it's not the original work. The original work it is a graphic novel. It was meant to be a graphic novel. It has a movie too, but it's not anything like the graphic novel.
I see.
But it's
How do you
really
feel
good.
about that?
What?
How do you feel about that, about book adaptations?
It's a mixed feeling because not everyone wants it. Like we have people that it's okay with, like J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling was working with Warner Brothers in the production of the Harry Potter movies. But this guy that created V for Vendetta, he's a complicated guy because he was doing this kind of works that it was so political and aggressive and some kind of a protest that he says that it's the only work it will be not extended or have a sequel or we'll have nothing. The main story it's closed for everything. And it has this movie and he's not on the co-production because he didn't want to create the movie. It was people who worked with him that worked on the movie too, but he was against it. Watchmen 2, it was one of his works. HBO
He got millions of dollars against his.
No,
his...
he didn't get it.
He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh no.
Yeah, because no, yeah, because he got partners too. So everything that it's related with the story it's not his side. It's just gains profit about the original work, about the graphic novel. Just that. It was an agreement with them, and I don't know why, but okay, he has his philosophy about the world, and I can't do nothing about it. But yeah, like he has this graphic novel that I'm trying to work to read too. That is the Killer Joke. I don't know if you heard of it.
I haven't.
The Killer Joke is a side story from Batman that he created that is not for kids.
I will see.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Like
Or
we have
about the same different for Vendetta guy.
Yeah, no, it's the same guy from V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think it is. Yeah, it is. And it's nothing like any other graphic novel or comic book that you read. It's for adults. Like this graphic novel from Batman. It has rape, murdering, explicit murdering. It's a story about the Joker showing Batman that people can go from sane to insane just with one bad day.
Wow.
And he gets the most known figure for being a sane person to be a calm person. That is Commissioner Gordon. I think everyone knows who it is. And
Him to be insane.
And
he gets him to go insane and do.
Yeah, he gets him to get the most baddest day of all.
Wow.
Of his life, just to get him insane to prove a point.
He did.
No, because you have to get the story. I don't want to
Okay.
to get spoilers. Yeah, and like it has the animation, and the animation doesn't show everything from the graphic novel. Like the Joker has this scene on the graphic novel that he went to the Commissioner Gordon's home. He's not there, but his sister are, and he raped her. He give a shot on the bone from the hip. It makes her paraplegic, and take photos of her with lots of guys in it, and it's an awful scene. and it's one of the things that he do for get him insane.
Wow,
And
this is awful.
yeah, and V for Vendetta, it's not like it's not more easy than this, but V for Vendetta is a story about uh, a dictatorship on England after World War II, that they had this fascist system that is controlled by some organs from the government, and inclusive the own Catholic Church on it. And we have this guy that he's dressed up like all in black with a cape and a hat, and he uses this mask, this Guy Fawkes mask, that is the mask that Anonymous uses to have this as a symbol, and it's inspired on this graphic novel, and it's about this guy against all the governments, like hitting on determined points. He's so methodist, and he creates all this plan to police didn't get it, not the government or Catholic Church. He can hide from everywhere else, and people start to unravel this story about him, about he got into concentration camps that people uh, are getting there to be like laboratories for experiments and stuff like this. It's an awful story. It's not, and it's grateful because you can see in a raw form how you live in a society like this, because it's all very well explained since the beginning of from it, like the excuse that government makes people got out from their home and got killed for it, uh, until the nowadays from the graphic novel. It's explicit too, like they talk about racism, they talk about rape, they talk about violence, torture, and uh, things that the higher power of the government and of the society can do with people who are just want to be living their lives.
I see. Graphic, right? We use the word graphic when to refer to something that's hard to see, right? And it's funny, yeah. It's called a graphic novel, so it's a graphic novel.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason, because when you got comic books, it's just something more childish, because you have violence and can get so much things, but it's not graphic. And graphic novel is just like just one story is just released right away. Like I had this graphic novel on Christmas that is Mouse. I don't know if you heard about it.
Did.
Mouse. That is about a family, a couple, more specific, that they are in telling the struggle since their start of the Nazi parliament, I guess. Yeah, the Nazi dictatorship on Germany, and start to spreading on Poland, and the struggle of Jews got hiding themselves and going to Auschwitz, and it won a Pulitzer about the most graphic work about Auschwitz ever.
Wow, it's crazy. So guys, let me comment on a few words real quick. Didn't take so many notes today. If you have any notes, you can add here. Do you know this expression, to dumb it down?
Make it simple.
To make it simpler, yes. Like, so can you dumb machine learning down to us? So can you dumb it down to us? It's a bit aggressive, like calling yourself dumb, but it is how some of them say it. Dumb something down, to simplify it, basically. Here, I think, Lucy, you were conjugating these verbs. You were saying it can thinks, can prevents, but you don't. You just say can think or can prevent. Okay. After any mode of verbs, we don't conjugate. Like, we don't say can thinking or can think or can thought or can thinks. Any iterations. Always the base form of the verb. Can think, can prevent, can do. Okay, maybe this note was too generalistic, because if I go down all of these differences, it's going to be too hard to explain. So I'm not going to touch on this, sorry. Drive themselves. Lucy, you're talking about cars, self-driving cars, right? Yeah, so you say the car, the difference between to drive, like, like they were talking to themselves, they were talking to each other. What would be the difference between those two?
They're talking to themselves and to each other.
Yes.
The difference.
It means
okay.
dialogue. Sorry.
You can say it.
I think like talk to themselves. Like it's not a dialogue. You're talking by yourself, by themselves. When you have a dialogue, they were talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So when the two people talking to themselves, they are not having a dialogue. They're talking to themselves. And to themselves, okay? You talk to someone, not by someone.
Yeah, but in this case, I think they use it right because they can drive themselves, but they used to talk with each other. The car drive themselves without any other.
Actually, this is the right sentence. You said something else. I didn't write it down. Sorry. So the cars communicate to each other with each other, and they drive themselves. And yeah, like in this case, it does make sense to say, Hafa, they were talking by themselves. Well, it's not the case, because if you are with someone, you are not by yourself, right? So if I am here talking by myself, because there's nobody here, physically. Interesting, you can be by yourself, but not talking to yourself. You believe in things, okay? Remember, when you take notes of verbs in your list, always add the preposition, because you're going to need to use it, okay? So if you learn the verb to believe, you say to believe in. Write down to believe in. Otherwise, it's useless. Like to believe, like what? But in this case, believe is both a transitive and intransitive verb, meaning it can or may not use the preposition, but with different meanings. So what's the difference between believe someone and believe in someone?
Are we supposed to answer?
Sorry?
Are we supposed to answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think that if I believe in you, I'm saying that I believe in your potential. I think you can do whatever you want to do. And if I say that I believe you, I believe what you're telling me.
Perfect. So to believe someone is about credibility, about believing what you say. And to believe in someone is to give them support, right? So I believe in you, we can do this, okay? Understand the difference of you?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can see how important the preposition is when you write down your verb, because it can actually add two entries to your list: to believe in someone, to believe someone, two different things. Localization is the practice that Lucy introduced us to. And yes, this is a Z. I mean, not location, okay? Location is the place, localization is the practice, like translation. Through people. So you can use through when you mention the way that something happens, like you get rich through knowledge, for example, or you connect through food, for example, or you can, I don't remember the context, but you get the meaning. Remembered. So the difference between remembered and reminded, you know that one. Maybe what's the difference?
To be reminded means to have a legacy. And remember is just remember something you recall, you know, isn't it?
No.
I don't know what to be remembered would be, because I would never see that.
Actually, yes, to be remembered means to be kept in the memory. So to have a legacy.
The legacy.
Yes. And to be reminded means to have the memory given.
Someone telling us something.
Yes. When
you
recollect someone because of some trigger. Okay. So hey, you have that appointment tomorrow. Okay. I'm just reminding you of that. This is why you set a reminder in your phone to remind you of something. So remember is like internal, reminded is external. To remind. And this to recollect as well, and to recall. Recall. Interesting that in French, we have the word rappeler, which means literally recall, and also the word in Italian richiamare, which also means literally recall. But funny enough, we have the word for the same root in Portuguese, but it means something else entirely. Interesting. But also, reclame is an old word for an ad, for advertising. So it is something that reminds you of a product or makes you learn that it exists.
Yeah, I believe in the past also this was the meaning.
Yeah, so probably it developed into something else. There's another word I like to think about, which is to delete. We didn't have any word for this until some years ago, when we just absorbed the word deletar, right? This word did not exist in Portuguese, but we did have the word in the level, which means undeletable, you know? So we only had the word for the non-doing of it. And now recently we got the doing of it as well from a different language, not directly from Latin, you know? Oh, not delata, delete. Delata we had already. Including the Catholic Church, or just Catholic, the pronunciation here, Catholic, okay? And you get inspired by someone. So to get inspired by. So this is what I usually do when I write down a new entry on my list. To get inspired by someone. I write what I call a mock sentence. It's like this. No? So this is all you need to build a whole sentence with this verb, to get inspired by somebody, to get inspired by something. So you can do this. SB for somebody and ST for something. STH for something. Okay. So now we know how to use it. Okay. So we're getting at this PDF. I think we can wrap up for today. I thought I think you were a bit sleepy.
No, I'm not. I'm just adding stuff to my list.
Oh, great, nice. Can you tell us your latest findings?
Actually, I wrote it down and then I was just putting on the app. Gullible.
Gullible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gaze.
Okay.
Bogus.
There's gaze, right? Okay.
Yeah. Offset.
Set.
And now dumb it down. Yeah.
Dumb. Sorry.
Surplus. Yeah.
Surplus. Like
Yeah.
example.
Do you guys use any specific app?
Yes, I recommend that you use Google Keep. Are you using it?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's one by Google called Keep. It's
Okay.
it's nice that few people use it, I think. So you can install it just for that. You know, you open it just to write down your words. So I do that on my phone. Let me show you. I do it for a few languages.
I feel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I want to use it for with Korean.
For what?
So
Korean?
hard. Korean, yeah, so hard.
So like this is my my Italian list, so the one I'm working on, and Spanish and French and Portuguese and English. I started learning Japanese, but it's been a while I don't study. Forgot everything already. So yeah, this is what I do. I start a list and I number it, and I have no, like, my method is very messy, I have to confess. There's no categorization of words. I don't split them up by category or verbs and nouns and animals and everything. I just write them down. It's not an exercise of trying to remember, just trying to get in touch with the language and show your brain that's important. So you register it every time the next time they see the word that you took notes of. And then every month or every week, you can take a reread at your list and refresh your memory of those words. And by coming here and practicing with us, you can use those words. And when you use them, your brain goes like, oh, this is nice. I'll keep it forever.
Okay, thanks. I'll download it.
So let's take a picture.
For Korean.
Yeah, do it. Take a picture. Maria? We said pictures, she escaped. Maria, come back.
You already have a video.
Come on.
Fine.
Not coming back? Okay. One,
Okay, I'll stop. Okay, just take a picture.
1, 2, 3. Okay. I didn't get your pose. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for coming. See you very soon. Bye-bye. Hugs.
Wait.
Bye.
Yeah, guys.
How often do you do that? How often do you guys meet?
Twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Oh, okay, Saturday. That's good. Because I usually have class at this time. I'm skipping class right now.
Okay.
So see you Saturday.
See you.
See ya.